So thank you, Kira. Thank you, Lugovaus. Thank you, Sinian. And thank you, RavenHackberry. Wish you all the best of luck. You may begin. It is noon. You can officially begin. While they get started, let us go over some details, shall we? Okay. So, you may use any of the starting pieces. You've got 12 to choose from. Doesn't matter. Whichever one you want, you do it. You may use any of the end pieces. 7 of them. Whichever one you want, doesn't matter. Yeah. Alright, no obstacles. Again, I know you clever bunch. Too easy giving you obstacles to kill marbles with. No. You gotta use the pieces. So, what all do we need? We need the mogul pan in every variant. Now, what should be noted about this competition? Actually, I don't like this start piece. Give me a better one. Perfect. Okay, what should be noted? It would behoove you. Now, I'm not the judge. Okay? Gameplays Games is the judge. Alright? But I would imagine the judging today would smile upon marbles going through each of these pans. Because technically, yes, you could do something like this. Right? You could technically do something like this. And then be like, oh, but the marble, it did hit the pan, see? Blunk, I used it. I mean, sure. And in fact, if you were to create a funnel or some unique obstacle piece out of the backs of pans, I think that would be looked well upon. But I would imagine at the very least, you would want a marble to go through each pan. You don't have to, but from what I know about this judge, functionality, very important. So, if you do get stuck with a piece that you just don't know how to use it, or make something interesting out of it, sure, just use the back of it. Make a hole, make like a wreath out of them and have a marble shoot through. I don't care. Do whatever you want to do. But you need to have at least one of each variant in your map. It needs to be there. I'll know if one's missing because I'm gonna look. Okay. So, you have the 5 mogul pans. You've got the 1 open pan. I think it's called Empty Steve. Is that what it's called? Is it actually called Empty Steve? Steve container. It's called a Steve container. All right, so the mogul pan, the Steve container, the Steve. Now keep in mind, just like the mogul pan, Steve has some variants, right? We've got plain Steve. We've got Snowflake Steve 1, Snowflake Steve 2, and Coliseum Steve, which I believe works now. I think it works now. All right, so there's 10 pieces already. Look, the map practically builds itself, guys. The map practically builds itself. All right. We got the double inverse motion enclosed dishwasher. I think it's officially called a double Steve. Yeah, yep. And then finally, or second to finally, I should say, we've got the pin. It's called like push pin pan or something. Pin pushing pan. Pin poppers is what it's officially called. At the pin poppers pan. Now, I will say, a piece like this could be very useful in creating a 50% death rate. Especially if it's, you know, I don't want to give away too many things, but it is well known. So just in fairness to all the competitors, I'll just so everyone knows, this is very effective. This is very effective. Now, you may not get a lot of creativity for using this because this is well known, but it is something you can do. So if you're getting stuck on how to kill 50% of the marbles, you can use that as an oh shit last resort. That one's a freebie from me to you. It's a gift. And then finally the Chad. Thankfully the Chad has no variants. So there's your pieces. Look, the track practically builds itself. That's like a 5-minute track right there. So 5 Mocha Pans, Steve Container, the 4 Steves, double liver motion to close dishwasher, aka double Steve, pit poppers, and the Chat, which I think is called Maze Steve. Is that called Maze Steve? Steve Maze. It's called a Steve Maze. The glass variants are okay. I was actually about to talk about that. So, if we look at the judging sheet, where's the judging sheet? Judging sheet. Hello. Hello. Judging sheet. Thought I already created this one. There we go. Perfect. Look at this. Look at this. Look at this fancy boy. Look at this fancy boy. Okay. Oh, it's because it's on the other sheet. All right. So with the rubric, right? Settings is only a 1-point thing. Either you took the time to set the settings appropriately, or you didn't. And there are a lot of settings with these pieces. There's clockwise, not clockwise, random, not random, glass covering, not glass covering, speed, right? There's a lot of creativity you can have. So it seems like it's underrepresented in the pieces are not just left on default settings. But that's very specific to just settings. That's a 1 or a 2. Right? There's other things you need to think about. Right? Other things you need to think about. Ingenuity could factor in to whether you have glass covering or not glass covering. Emergence, if your pieces are overlapping, using glass and not using glass, and the speeds at which things are traveling, that would also affect that. Cohesion, that also affects it. Right? So, even though settings is its own category, either 1 point or 2 points, yes or no, there are other categories in which your use of specific settings over default settings could factor in. Again, I'm not judging. I'm just explaining general concepts about the competition. Okay. Let's go back to the action. See if we have anything amazing in development yet. Should we just have Steves behind me? Just have all the Steves behind me. Perfect. I like it. I like it. Look at that. It's like a little frame. It's like a subtle reminder to everyone watching that there's things. Actually, I could probably do it like this. Yeah. Whatever, doesn't matter. It's really not that important. Okay. On the top left, we have KiraRusalka. Already throwing things on an angle. Already getting things touching each other. I like it. On the right-hand side, Lugo Valos seems to be setting up a very wide track and using the front edge of a pan to narrow marbles. Instead of putting the pan sideways and using a big wall, just using a little overlap. Ooh. It's these things I love already. Bottom left, Sinian TV. Upside down flat pan. Ooh. We're gonna get some marble scatter. Ah. Is this the genius already in action? Is Sinian going to split the track into two directions? Have a 50-50 split and just have one path kill marbles and the other path doesn't? Looks like that's what Lugo's doing. Lugo doing a split already. The problem solving out in full force here. Love to see it. Love to see it. People hear 50-50, they say, oh good, I'll make two paths and I'll kill one and I'll live the other. Perfect. I can't say no to that. That just sounds like good problem solving to me. Some would say cop out. I don't. I think that's exactly what I was asking for. Bob the 7th, welcome in. Good to have you here. Diablo Bob, good to have you here. Yorstra. MacRibD again, thank you for the raid. Much appreciated. Welcome everyone. This is the Builder Competition. We have KiraRusalka on the top left, Lugo Valis on the top right, Sinian TV on the bottom left, and our wild card, the never before seen builder on this channel, RavenHackberry, building in the shadows, cooking up something spicy to surprise us with at the end of the competition. We will run all 4 tracks at the 2-hour mark, which is 2 p.m. Eastern. There is one main reason why I wanted to have a sub 1 minute time instead of a sub 5 minute time for this competition. And I wasn't going to say what the solution would be. I wanted to see if people would figure it out. But again, probably one too many things to have people worry about in a small 2-hour competition. But for the under 1 minute challenge, the solution without obstacles, like without boosters and stuff, would be to slope the track heavily, if not make it vertical, right? So you could do a vertical track with all the pans, using each variant once, and probably have it take less than a minute. Now, it wouldn't be average time under 1 minute. It would be like the first marble has to finish under a minute. So we might fool around with that concept later on just to start generating some ideas. But again, already on the top right, Lugo Valis has divided the track into 2 paths. On the top left, KiraRusalka has created a very wide pan out of pans. It's good stuff. And looks like they've got some snowflake Steves in already. And then we have a split here from Sinian TV. And it looks like they have some gravity as well. Okay, so we're going to use some forceful splitting of marbles here. I don't know if those pans are flat on their slope. I would imagine they are. So using the gravity of the rings rather than the gravity of the map to separate the marbles. Very interesting concept. There's something that might be an issue with how it's currently set up on Sinian TV, but we'll see how the testing goes. I saw a knowing smile come out of Sinian's lips there. So he's clearly listening. And that's something I've been thinking about. Maybe the chat can bounce up back here. I do try my best not to like give too strong of a hint to our competitors here, but I also feel like that's the advantage of streaming, right? The builders are putting themselves out there, exposing the very vulnerable and fragile creative process that they undergo when they create a track, and in a high pressure situation. And I feel like the very least they should get out as a kind of reward for their bravery is a little extra help. So Not to say you have to stream, and I understand why a lot of people prefer not to stream, especially when they're building, especially in a builder competition. So I'll likely not require streaming anytime soon, especially if we get up to 8 people. If we have 8 people a week, I might actually prefer people not stream so I can watch everything. But I do feel like, since you guys are putting it out there, it's fair to at least get a little bit of help as far as working through here. So we'll see if Sinian figures out what the potential issue might be on that current setup. Everything else looking very good, though. I don't know what Kira's doing. Does anyone know what Kira's doing? It's more than once in a builder competition, Kira has made something that has terrified me. She actually made the scariest thing I've ever seen in marbles in a competition. It was a long tube of pin poppers with like hammers and shit inside of it. And the way it was colored and shadowed, and it was the first thing the marbles went into. It was just like, oh, hi marbles, here, die. I crapped myself multiple times that day. It's terrifying. I'm getting nervous because I'm getting that vibe off of Kira right now. And before you start laughing too much, Kira, you might want to save your map, as I see no map name. You too, Lug. You might want to save your map. There's no map name up there. Trying to get chummy with me here, Kira. I'll put you in your place right quick. So, friendly reminder to all competitors, save and save often. Especially if you need to test something like properly. Alright, Sinian seems to have aborted the gravity option. I'm gonna give a hint. The area of effect of the gravity rings is bad. Also, you can't use obstacles. I should probably remind everyone. No obstacles. But yeah, if you did want to use gravity rings to split marbles, you have to keep in mind the area of effect, because if a marble hits both areas of effects, it's going to get both gravities, and then it's not going to have any effect on it. They'll just sit there. So you need to keep your spaces isolated, but also no obstacles permitted in this competition. That's why I'm trying to help you guys out. It was a good idea, Sid. It was a good idea, but no obstacles. Ooh, now we're going season 15 1-hour track build with the zero slope Steves. Now we're cooking. This is what I wanted to see. Yes. So Sinian, now going full hog here. Wonder if we'll see any butterflies today. Butterflies are really good at killing marbles. What is Kira doing? Oh no. Oh no. It's a Chad funnel. She has created a Chad funnel. I don't even want to know. Do we play around with this? Hold on, wait a minute. We're gonna leave her to her own devices for a little bit. Let's start fooling around with this for ourselves. Leave our builders in a little bit of peace for now. Okay. All right. So we got all of this. All right. What are we doing here? We're full glassing the Chad. We're putting it on a 90. I'm not stealing. I'm thinking out loud in front of everyone. It's not the same thing, right? That's not the same thing. Okay. So normally, oh geez. Oh boy. Oh, wait, what? Am I? Oh, I'm the wrong way. Son of a bitch. Okay. So we got this thing here. We got this thing here. Okay. And we're gonna tip this up 5 degrees. All right. Put a little thing here. Not that it matters. Hello. All right, there you go. Okay, great. Hello. Okay. So what does this look like normally? It'll have like some marbles catch in the middle, the rest just go to the outside. Oh no, they all go to the top. They all go to the top. Well, that's not good. Let's put this on a 45. Let's put this on a 45. Okay. This should be the effect where the marbles kind of catch in the middle, or they just go around the outside, right? Yeah, so the ones go outside and then some get stuck in the middle, right? Yeah. Yep. Okay. So then what we do is we put funnels on there. Mmm. 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 What if they, ooh, so they all have to go to the middle. Ooh. Ooh, KCRG, hello, welcome in. Thank you for gifting the 2 subs. Oh, sorry. Total of 2 subs, but gifted 1 sub to Critical Elf. Very much appreciated. Okay. Let's call it negative 5,000. Perfect. It's gonna be 6,500. Oh, negative. And we're gonna take our thingamajig, and we're gonna go swoop, 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 swoop. And then we want that to be open, so we're gonna add 100 to this side, and 100 to this side. And we're gonna hit the button. What does this do? Tonight's Ask a Builder Anything, 7 p.m. On this channel this season, everything is 7. Oh man. Oh, why do I like this? Why do I? Oh, we lost a marble. But why do I like this so much? Do it again. 20 marbles. Do it. Do it. Do it. Do it. It's so juicy. It's so juicy. And then what if? Wait, what if? Hold on. What if? What if? Hold on. Hold on. What if? What if? We copy this. I'm totally not making ideas for the 1 hour track. That's not what's happening right now. This is totally not gonna show up in a 1 hour track sometime soon. Definitely not. Now imagine if you will, Imagine if you will. That's been done several times before. Yep. Having some kind of collection with a pin pan and the marbles have to go up. We'll see if any of our competitors come up with anything like that. I'm trying not to do anything that can actually be done in this competition. Or do something that has just been done. Trying not to generate ideas so that our competitors have as much ability to generate the ideas for themselves. But that is something someone could do. There we go. Look at this. Look at this. Oh yeah, Casey Rich, I posted the builder rules for this week in the Discord, in the general builder competition chat. So anyone who wants to try it can try it. And Yusuf, I see you peeking. Glad I got to check out your stream yesterday. Hang out. I'm liking this. Now, again, not that this is going to show up in the 1 hour track anytime soon, but imagine imagine the slope was 0. Oh, FA clipped through the wall. They're cheating. The marbles are cheating. But, you know, imagine the slope was 0. Oh, FA. What a cheater. What a fucking cheater. Get him out of here. Oh, now everyone's cheating. Great. Great. Yeah, no. Yes, everyone can cheat now. That's fine. I like it. You can find all sorts of things you could do. Like, you could make all sorts of shapes in there. Anyway. Enough of that now. Enough of that now. Blup, blup, blup. Eeh. 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 Okay. Let's go back to the coverage. I just realized I have to be like that. There we go. Okay. All right, back to the coverage. Kira on the top left is using all the mogul pans. Good to see, good to see. Bottom left, Sinian TV. Oh, Sinian has a format now. He's got a bone structure, a skeleton, if you will. So already formulating the flow of marbles through the track. And he's already at 50%. Look at this. Look at this. He's done. Guys, ladies and gentlemen, Sinian is done. 30 minutes into the competition, he's ready to submit. It's a new speed. Oh, should we speed run? Do we speed run Board Cube real quick? 55%. Look at that. What a champ. What a champ. Our first successful test, ladies and gentlemen. Under 5 minutes, 55% eliminated. I don't know if he's actually used all of the pieces yet, though. But he could easily sneak the rest of the pieces in there. That's for sure. On the top right, Lugo Valos seems to be making a funnel out of the backs of pans. Good stuff. And on the top left, Kira. I can't tell. I can't tell. But she's doing something. flying marble experience, Diablo Bob? Yeah, tonight. We've got Ask a Builder Anything tonight at 7 p.m. So if you have track questions, track reviews, track breakdowns, anything you need with either a track you made or a track someone else made, come on in and ask about, and we'll make it happen. We'll make it happen. All right, so Kira on the left now is making a collection funnel for her 3 lanes of marbles. Bottom left, Sidian. Okay. So Sidian had just placed a wind bin to test the death rate. This is a very good technique. There's 2 ways you can go about testing your maps in specific sections. You can put finish bins or collection areas. So if you just do 2 of the 90-degree bend up pieces on the end of a track, and it'll just collect all the marbles there. So you can either collect all the marbles to see what your death rate is, or you can put a wind bin to see what the death rate is. And the other thing is you can move the start piece around, right? So if your start piece is in a very specific position or has like stuff attached to it, just put a piece on the end of it that it's connected to so you can snap it back to that spot. And then you can either delete the start piece you have if it's too big, and then use the express little slider start piece, the little drag race start piece, and you can just plop that in somewhere on your track to get marbles to start at that spot in your track. So especially if you're doing like a 1-hour track build and you want to test something that's like 40 minutes into the race, it's a good technique to remember you can move your start piece to wherever you want to test. Now I will recommend always put it further back than the spot you want. So like let's say you have a jump into some steves, and before the jump you have like a splitter thing. Don't put the start piece at the jump, because then the marbles are going to go down and they're going to slow roll into the jump and then go through. Put the marbles one section back in that divider area, right? So that the marbles coming into the jump have the natural flow that they'll have at that moment, right? So whatever you're testing, you want to make sure the marbles are coming into that area naturally. So your start piece should always be before the part you actually want to test to establish those marbles into the normal flow that they would have at that point. So that is some stuff you can do to help test your track without waiting the entire length of your track. Either move the finish piece or move the start piece, or just put a collection area somewhere where all the marbles stop so you can see what your death rate is or anything else you need to test. Let's go with chat for a minute here. Okay. Let's start at the top. Diablo Bob wanted to ask about that. Yes, okay, good. Actually, so what were we doing? Was it Evil Pickle? Diablo Bob, check out Evil Pickle's track. Check out Evil Pickle's track. There's some very clever stuff in there. They use that. They use a pin pan as an elevator. And you can either go into the pin pan with anti-grav or without anti-grav. So there's 2 ways to get pinned up. You either deflect off the pins with anti-grav, or you actually don't get anti-grav and then you have to get pinned up normally. Do like a 200 marble test on it, but Evil Pickle, check them out. There's some very unique stuff in there. Case Richie, might give it a get home. Great. Tell Bob. Need to ask me proof of concept map. Okay, so we'll work on that tonight. Case Rich is roaming. It is weird how roaming, when your phone is roaming, like the battery usage is like devastated. But apparently generating a broader cast signal takes a lot more juice. Keep going off the edges of portal. All right. Well, yeah, we'll take a look, Diablo Bob. When is the next 1 hour track run? Every Friday at 7 p.m. Who's challenging me? Sinian, you challenging me? What are we doing? What's the challenge? What are we doing? What are we doing? We might be building the next 1 hour track. We'll see. I mean, there's a chance someone beats our world record before Friday. But, we'll probably run something. If not our track. And or start brainstorming ideas live. All will be determined. I see a double Coliseum. Wait a minute. Oh, okay. Well, now I'm curious. Hold on. Hold on. Sinian's giving me ideas. Nobody look. Nobody look at what I'm about to do. Where the hell is my marbles game? There it is. Okay. No one look at what I'm about to do. I'm thinking out loud. Just look. Okay. Shush. Just leave me alone. I wanna do this by myself. I'm just curious. I'm just thinking out loud here. I'm just thinking out loud. Don't stop getting excited. You're all getting excited. I see you all getting excited. Relax. I'm just curious. I'm just wondering. If so so okay. I'm just wondering if we were somehow able to get marbles in there, and then the door opens, right? Does it shoot the marble forward? Could we make it shoot the marble forward? If they went different speeds. Hold on. Hold on. I mean, Sidian, I might use that for a competition. You never know. Okay. So no, this is gonna take forever to test. Why are none of them opening? The fuck, Chad? Come on, Coliseum, do your job. What the hell? They all stopped open. Did we break it? I think we broke it. We broke it. We broke it, guys. We broke it. The heck? Ring's broken. Come on, Merbs. All right, there we go. Okay, so no. Oh, god damn it! It's gonna take forever to test. It's gonna take forever to test. I just want to know something. Yes. Okay. Ooh. Okay. Y'all saw it. Okay. So imagine you have to get up on there, right? And then the doors squeeze you out like that. And then there's a portal, right? And then there's a portal. Where's the portal? There's a portal that's like right there. Huh? Huh? What do you think? What do you think? It's very claustrophobic. But I'm just thinking. All right, so you got a marble there. Come on, Merb. Come on, Merb. We need you to squeeze. We need you to squeeze. Do it. Squeeze. Squeeze. Squeeze! Squeeze! Wait. We have more chances. Okay. Come on, Merbs. Do it for the stream. 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 It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen, guys. It's gonna happen. It's gonna happen. Squeeze it. Squeeze it. No! It's really hard to, like, get marbles up there, isn't it? Oh, see, now all the doors are moving. Okay. See, so some of them are squeezed, right? Well, now the doors are going crazy. This is really difficult. Ooh! Did you see that one? It popped. That one popped. You saw that one pop? I saw it pop. Ooh, what's that marble doing? Ooh, it fell. Success. It works. Proof of concept. Chili Mosquito, welcome in. Chili Mosquito, you should be looking forward to this week's Thursday Flare video. Oh God! What'd I touch? I touched a button. I touched a button. Okay. Our competitors still in action. Oh my goodness. Lugo Valis has a fully latticed backwards pan funnel into the center of a coliseum. On the left-hand side, KiraRusalka is pin, pan, and merbs. Oh my goodness, she is pin, pan, and merbs. Oof. Oof. That's a lot of pins. Oh my God. It's so many pins. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. Oh jeez. I don't think she'll have any problem getting. Oh my word. What nightmarish horror. This is a torture chamber. This is something straight out of Jigsaw over here. I don't even want to look. I don't even want to look. On the bottom left though, Sinian has got some nice concentric funnel work going with some glass track. Already working on the aesthetic. It's interesting to see builders' approaches, right? So there are some times where being inspired creatively, right? If you choose your aesthetic, then you can start playing around with pieces to see how they affect the lighting and coloring in that material. But there's also that concept where you kind of get stuck in that aesthetic. And so it's kind of a give and take, right? sometimes it's very uninspiring to be in the default, right? You're trying to put some stuff together and it just looks bad no matter what you do because it's just blue-red in the default background. So there is the being inspired by the visual aesthetic of a map to help influence the decisions. But then there's also the need to not be trapped by that aesthetic, right? So, oh, good Lord. Oh, no. Oh no. Ladies and gentlemen, for reasons we cannot discuss, City and TV has been banned from the competition. As much as I love that we can use any material for track, obstacle, and glass, there are some I wish you couldn't, and I think the glass hearts is a problem. The problem with the glass hearts is that the glass hearts turn the track invisible, and all you can see is the hearts, which, you know, can look very cool, but sometimes it's just not good. Sometimes it's just not good. All right, we see Lugo Valis in the top right starting to play around with some aesthetics here with the skyboxes and materials. Left hand side, Kira, I think, making a flower. Kira's always making flowers. That's what she does. For those of you who don't know what is going on with all those pieces there with Kira, this is what we call an anchor piece. So if you are trying to create a symmetrical construction, which is usually more appealing to the eye than eyeballing things, but you want a space, right? So if you're trying to make a ring, if you're trying to make a funnel, if you're trying to make anything hollow on the inside to any extent, what you need to do is use a single piece as an anchor piece at the point that is center of your rotation. Then you put your pieces at a distance from that anchor piece, and then you rotate duplicates of your desired piece around the anchor piece, and then you just delete the anchor piece when you're done. So let's do a quick demonstration. We're getting into Ask a Builder Anything already. Look at this. Look at us, guys. Taking these live builder tactics and dissecting them. It's almost like this is a good entertainment show that can sometimes pass for educational, right? So let's say we want to make like a really fancy looking hajadu. You know what? Just for Sinian, we're gonna use. Wait, can we not use the glass hearts in it? Oh, there they are. Okay. Just for Sinian, we're gonna use this. we're gonna use this. Just for Sinian. All right. Beautiful. Okay. So let's say we wanted to make like a nice ring out of this, right? So we're gonna put this at 0 real quick. Oh God. Right. Now, if we were to rotate this just like eyeballing it, right? It would look terrible, and there's no gap in the middle, and it's just bad. Everything about this is bad. Everything about that is bad. That's not what we want to do. What we want to do, let's say we wanted a 1,000 gap. Well, what that means for us is we want to raise this by 500. Of course, this is all weird now. We're just going to call it positive 400, right? Great. So now we take our anchor piece, and your anchor piece doesn't have to be like at the center. It just has to be the center of rotation of your axis, right? So if this is at 0Z, we're rotating around the Z, right? Then as long as it's in line, then the rotation is going to work, right? And you can turn on your grid snapping if you want to do it really fast. Left Alt is your copy button. So if I left alt and just click on the arrows, now I have 2 pieces, right? See that? So you select your anchor piece first, because wherever your compass is where you're going to be rotating around. Holding shift, you select the other pieces you want to duplicate, and then go to your rotation settings. And then again, left alt. Oh God. Are we good? Are we good? Okay. Left alt, click, and you can hold down the mouse button while holding down alt to get it exactly where you want. Right? And then when you're all done, although that looks really cool actually. I think we're gonna keep the anchor pieces. We're gonna keep the anchor pieces. They look too cool. Voila. So we make something that looks very cool, very impressive, and like, oh my God, how much work did that take? It took like 3 seconds. Right? So there you have it. That does look really cool though. Holy shit. It looks so cool. Anyway, so yeah, there's the thing. There's the thing. The thing with the stuff. Great. Where the heck is the rest of my pieces? There they are. Okay. It's like, where did the map go? All right. Back to the competition. Hey. All right. On the top right, Lugo Valos dropping some marbles to see how whatever he's created is performing. Is that a mogul pan with Steve's poking through it? I think it is. Gotta love the synergy. On the top left, KiraRusalka testing their funnel, making sure the marbles don't take forever. So, fun fact about how vortex orbiters work. You've all seen the little put the penny into the giant funnel and watch it spin around forever. There's a very specific shape that maximizes the rotation of a orbiting object with Earth's gravity, obviously. Each gravitic field will have a different shape that is ideal to its conditions. But if you just make a cone, cones are actually by default pretty good. So cones will take a long time. Spheres will also take a long time. So you've probably all noticed that with this funnel in particular, this one you can get marbles that go around like not the worst, right? The marbles usually get out of this pretty quickly. Because this is not really it's a cone, but it's a very optimized cone, right? Let me get a booster in here just to really accentuate this. There we go. Okay. So this is more or less a cone. And so the marbles aren't going to stay in it very long, right? You get some circling, but more or less they're going to get dropped down. And you've probably all noticed that the sphere, which is this guy here, is awful. This is like absolutely awful, right? These marbles will be here forever. They might actually despawn before they get out of the circle, right? I mean, I love it. Because what's great about this is, like, I like to think of these as Brendas, right? It's the same exact concept, right? So with the Brenda, most of your single marbles are going to be in here for a very long time. And the only skip chance is if another marble collides with them, right? That's your skip chance is colliding with another marble, right? That's how you get out of here fast. Otherwise, you're going to be in here forever, right? And you can use these funnels the same way, right? So if all your marbles are coming in on the same direction, yeah, they're going to be there forever. However, if you have marbles going in opposite directions, just like the Brenda, right? You're going to get those collisions, and those colliding marbles are going to drop down a lot faster than the other marbles, right? So I actually really like that funnel, but you have to know how to use it, right? Great. Okay. Back to what we were talking about. So the half sphere, terrible for getting marbles out. And cones, not the worst. Now you look at these funnels, and you'll notice that these actually have that shelf. And what that does is it forces down velocity once the marble hits a certain edge, right? So this is kind of taking the two principles and working together. So the outer ring is kind of like the sphere, and the inner ring is kind of like the cone. So where are we going with all this? Oops. There we go. What I like to do is replicate that when you do a concentric form. So if we're gonna go, let's say 10 degrees, right? So if we're making a funnel, it's behooving to replicate those principles, right? And this is gonna be a really bad example, but just bear with me here, okay? So the idea being, if these were just constantly flat, you would get that cone problem where the marbles can just circle forever, right? But by creating that lip, even if it's just a small change in direction, they'll have the initial, and then the change in downward velocity is going to shoot the marbles closer to the exit. So just something to keep in mind when you're making your tracks. If you make a custom funnel and it's not performing the way you would like it to perform, try putting in a bend on your concentric pieces. Fun facts. Okay, so Kira on the left, top left, funneling marbles into a Colosseum and then a molasses chip pan into the wind bin ring. Bottom left, it looks like we have Cinean TV putting things on weird angles, which is always a good sign in this competition. It means something innovative is happening. And I don't even want to know what Lugo's doing. What on earth? What? Is this just for effect? Is it just for visual effect? I'm very confused. I think it's just for visual effect. Okay, using the pins to create a second texture underneath the glass picture. Intriguing. Oh yeah, by the way, friendly reminder. Save. You should probably save. You should probably save. Oh, Chili Mosquito, hello, welcome in. You have a question. Let's go over some questions. What were we doing? More for rotation than it is for pieces. But it works for both. Okay? So we're gonna put this at 0y. And let's call it 30,000 and 50,000. Okay. So on rotation, right? We have 5, 10, and 45. So with degrees, it makes a lot of sense, right? I can rotate it 5 degrees at a time. I can rotate it 10 degrees at a time. And I can rotate it 45 degrees at a time, right? So very good for rotation. The problem is 5, 10, and 45 all come from a base 360 system. It's technically a base 60 and it's 4.5, but let's not talk about it. So it's a 360 base system. So 5, 10, and 45 make a lot of sense in a 360 base system. Unfortunately, coordinates are decimal. So it doesn't make as much sense in decimal. So it still translates to the same exact ratios, but it's going to be weird, right? So if I raise this up, it's going to raise it by 100 for 5. 10 will be 200, obviously, right? Let's actually do it like this so we can see the differences. Right? And then 45 is going to be 900, right? Because 5 times 9 is 45. So it's going to be 900. So it's not 1,000. It's 900, which is a problem because it's a decimal system. Because these squares and most shapes are 1,000 wide. So it's like it's so close. It's so close. Ooh, it's so close, but not quite. So the slider is built more around rotation than it is moving pieces, but it is very good for obstacles. So because the smaller scale motion is so appealing, 5 and 10, which is 100 and 200, most obstacles work around that size scale. So, you know, there's 200, there's 400, right? It's like a perfect marble gap. The other thing to keep in mind is that marbles themselves are between 70 and 75 coordinates wide. They're hitbox. So the other thing sliders are good for is making pinch points that won't trap marbles. So let's see here, 90. Pull it back, right? So if we do this, right, just using the slider for 100, we get something that's pretty close to a full marble wide with some wiggle room so they don't get trapped, right? So that's another thing that the grid snapping is really good for, is getting like a 1 marble gap or, you know, a 2 marble gap, right? You can, basically it's 1 slide per however many marbles wide you want it to be. So it does have its uses. I really like using it for the Jiminy sticks, right? So the sections of the Jiminy stick are like right at 100. So you can basically choose whether it's going to be a 5, 4, 3, 2, or 1 strength. For those of you who don't know, the Jiminy stick doesn't move at the bottom, right? It's anchored to the bottom. And the problem with that is you can get marbles stuck, right? So if I have a marble there, it's just going to get stuck there. So what you can do is basically these have strengths. So if you drop it down by 1 section, now they're going to move apart a little bit, but still enough to trap a marble. And then you can move it down another section. So strength 3, right? And that's just enough for the marble to move through. And then, oops. And then you can go all the way to strength 1, which really like barely does anything to stop a marble. But you get these really cool spring effects. So like the first marble goes through, pushes it out of the way without any resistance. But then it springs back, right? So the first marble just kind of rolls over it like it's not even there. But if you have 2 marbles, it'll smack the second marble, right? So you get this cool effect where like the first marble pulls back and just blasts through, but then the second marble gets hit by the spring on the back end, right? And then again, what's good about that with the grid is the 100 is a full marble wide. So if you go to the 10, right? So you're going 200. Now you've got a nice gap of marbles, and then you can just kind of make a whole array of them, and then you select them all, and then you go down to 5, and you can stagger them, right? So now it's like a field, right? So very useful for small scale stuff as far as track pieces go, and very useful for rotation. But again, it's more a shortcut than anything else. I would always advise against using grid snapping. Only use it if you're very particular about something being symmetrical. But even then, what I would argue is you need to do the math, right? You should always be doing the math. So with the 5 and 10 rotation, you're only ever going to get either 36 or 72 or 18, right? You're gonna have very few numbers of rotations that you can make symmetrical. But with the math, you can divide it out however you want, right? So if I want 5 pieces symmetrically rotated, right? It's 360 divided by 5, it's 72. There's no way to do that with grid snapping. So you can't make a 5-pointed star with grid snapping. It's not going to happen, because you need 72 degrees, not 75 degrees, right? So grid snapping is good to make things happen quickly, especially with obstacles or just a 45-degree rotation. But do not get in the habit of relying on it, because then all of your maps are going to look the same. If you've noticed, the meta's already proven that time and time again, but even going now, you don't see a lot of those concentric maps anymore, where people just take a piece and they rotate it in a circle to make a ring. You don't see those a lot anymore. And the reason why you don't see those more is because they were everywhere and people got sick of them. And the reason why people got sick of them is because it was always the same thing. It was always a 5 or a 10 coordinate, a 5 or a 10 grid snap rotation. So it always looked the same, right? Whereas something like a 5-pointed star, people don't see that regularly. So something like that would be more interesting. Or if should we talk about we'll talk about that later. But my spiraled water wheel. Oh my God. We're going to talk about the spiraled water wheel at some point. Let's look at our competitors and see what we got going on. Top right, Lugo Valos is narrowing marbles with the backs of pans and the bottoms of pans. So really wanting to have actual track and not just pans, and doing whatever he can to make it happen. Kira with a sloped Wonkadoo bogle pan, dropping down into some flake steves and pin pans on the back. I like that. Pin pans as a back wall. That's a cool concept. Not only does it keep marbles from going off the back of the piece and dying, it will give marbles that go backwards a chance to skip ahead. There's some good functionality in there. I'm liking that. On the bottom left, Cinean TV is still changing material. he can't make up his mind, or he's going to use a glass material, but he can't see where the glass material is, so he has to use an opaque material to construct it, and then he can switch it back to glass, which is another trick. Yeah, see, I know this guy. It is, if you do have trouble seeing where something is, don't hesitate to change the material so you can see it, and then change the material back. The the white flat stone is a really good contrast contour texture. The red brick works well. Basically, any geometric trail looks really good if you're just trying to figure out where stuff intersects. So that one right there that Sinian has selected, that is the perfect piece for finding where and how stuff intersects, because there's lines everywhere. So it's very easy to see where the changes are. But anything with that texture is going to work. Brick is going to work. Even the carpets, the ugly 70s carpets textures would be good for that as well. Just because they have so many lines on them. Yeah, those, oh God. Oh God. And again, ladies and gentlemen, unfortunate news, Sinian TV is being banned from the channel for the second time. Those things are so ugly. They look great from a distance, but the moment you get close up, yep, he's gone. He's gone. Sinian's gone. They look great from a distance, but the moment you get close to them, it's just instant gag reflex. Oh, now Kira's doing it too. We're gonna, you know what? Weekly builder competition canceled. That's it. No, I'm done. I'm done. We're canceling it. We're canceling the competition. Cam Plays is hosting now. All right, are we all good here? All good here? Chili Mosquito. Are you Danish? Or not Danish. Dutch. Are you Dutch? What's voting for drinking? Cafe. Are we sure the Coliseum is working? I don't know. It's a very long window. It's like 1 to 20 seconds, I think, on the doors. It's a very open. It's the same thing as like the cubes, I think. The cubes go from anywhere from 1 to 20 second timers. I think the Coliseum's also like operating on the same random integer between 1 and 20 for how many seconds it's open and closed. I know they weren't working before, so Pixel definitely changed it to whatever it is now, but it seems like it's working, but it's a very slow, long interval, like between 1 and 20 seconds or something, which is actually better, right? When you're trying to like balance stuff on the tops of the doors or do something tricky with it, it's actually good to have that long, slow, unreliable interval. But it does mean that they may remain all open or all closed for a period of time. Yeah, it's, you know, RNG. What are you going to do? I will say this. I'm not going to hold it, and hopefully Cam won't hold it against you, if it is borked in the test upload. So, we're not going to hold that against you if it's borked. Looking at... Okay, so top right, Lugo Valos has saved his map, exited out of the builder, and is now running the map local, which is a very good tactic to do. What that does, it gets you a fresh load on the map, so all the obstacles and moving track pieces spawn fresh in their original starting conditions. And then also you're going to have as close to live physics as you can, right? In the builder, there's a lot of like minimalized, simplified stuff, and it's not connected to the server. So your computer's not working as hard in the builder, which means physics is working great. But in a live build, there's a lot more going on under the hood. And so things don't work as well. And especially with things like jumps, the physics could be completely different. You know, the old chaos theory butterfly effect. The tiny change at the beginning of the jump resorts in like the marbles missing by 500 coordinates or something ridiculous, right? So saving the map, exiting out, and then testing it as a local file is a great way to make sure your map is going to work when you upload it. It's not going to be guaranteed, and my 1 hour tracks can attest to that. There's always something on someone's computer that goes horribly wrong, but it's going to get you as close as you can get. So saving and testing as a local file is always good, and that's what Lugo's doing here, just to ensure that his 50% is going to work as well. And it looks like it is working quite well. And a reminder to our competitors, we have 45 minutes remaining in the competition. And a quick reminder of all requirements. You might want to check your map right now. Make sure you have all of the 6 pieces required that are behind my head, and each variant of those pieces. There are 5 Mogul Pan variants. There are 4 Steve variants. You need to have all 13 pieces somewhere in your track, and no other track pieces or obstacles used other than starting piece and finishing piece. On top of that, no obstacles, as we said. Make sure your track is under 5 minutes. That means the last marble that finishes or dies needs to do so before 5 minutes. So if your first marble finishes at 3:15 and the last marble's stuck and doesn't get killed by the wall of death until 5:10, that's a disqualification. The map's too long. Shorten it up. The other thing is we are looking for 50 to 90% elimination rate. What that means is we want more than half of the marbles to die, but we want more than 1 marble finishing. Okay? I'm expecting somewhere between 10 and 20 marbles to test the maps. And we will do supplemental testing if I feel like there are not enough marbles to give the map a fair chance to qualify. But as long as it is obvious that you made a genuine attempt to have more than 1 marble survive, that's fine. If you're not deliberately trying to only have 1 marble live, which it seems pretty obvious with the builds we're seeing here today. As long as it's above 50%, you should be fine. What's that, KiraRusalka? I think that's when you go from 2nd place to 4th place. I think that's what disqualification is. It's when you go from 2nd place to 4th place. It's when 1 marble that's holding the entire fate of your map in its hands for an entire minute decides to go backwards instead of into the win bin. That's what it is. That's what disqualification is. It was so dramatic. It was so dramatic. We're just sitting there watching it. We're just watching the marble for like 1 minute and 30 seconds. Like, come on! Ooh, 2 out of 20. Look at this. Kira. Crushing it. 8 out of 20. Even better. Nailed it. I just saw the 2 left remaining. So there you go. Boom. For those of you who don't know, well, it's gone now, but I'll show you. For those of you who don't know, to test local, community maps, local. This is all the maps in your custom maps folder. So if you have your hidden files displayed, you can go to your app data folder under your username. And then you go into local marbles on stream and then down into the saved maps files. Do recommend breaking those files up. These are actually all actual map files. All of the like brainstorming map files. Oh, we hit 300. GG's everyone. Happy 300 maps. I have like a bunch of brainstorming files that are in a subfolder, so they don't appear in this list. But always good to have like subfolders for things you don't want to appear in this local list. And then also, you know, have a separate folder that you back up. Vote 69. What is 69? Oh, it's one of the big clout maps. So that's how you run local. Cool. All right. 40 minutes remain. Checking in with our builders here. Looks like Sinian running a test on the bottom left. Looks like more. Well, he's got 13 out of 20. So looks like he's got some more killing to do. Although the wall depth might help out a little bit. Top right, Lugovalis, starting to experiment with some pieces. And top left, Kira, trying to figure out if there are any other variants she hasn't used yet. I would assume. Not quite sure what the thought process is for these guys, but they're doing something. At this point in the competition, you should have a map that goes from start to finish using all pieces. And as long as your functionalities are working, I would say start experimenting, right? Start seeing if you can combine two pieces, overlap them or intersect them in a way that's interesting. Try to put stuff on different angles. Just, start throwing things together, see if anything pops out and stands out to you. It's never too late to just throw in something interesting, especially in this competition. Yeah. So I guessed correctly on Kira. She was checking all the pieces. But, yeah. If you are feeling comfortable with your map, start pushing it. See if there's some extremes you can do it. And definitely pay attention to the settings on your pieces, The default for the rotating pieces is almost always random. You might not want that, right? If you look at Lugovalis on the top right, he has one clockwise and one counterclockwise snowflake. If those are random, then each time you load up the map, it's going to be a 50% chance that they do that. And then a 25% chance they both go clockwise and a 25% chance they both go counterclockwise. So if you have something rotating a specific way, make sure you are not on the random rotation. Set it to clockwise or counterclockwise and set it to the speed you want, right? Again, the not using default settings is just to is just 1 or 2 points, whether you did it or didn't do it. But those kinds of concepts factor in to other parts of the judging, like how well the pieces interact with each other, how well the marbles flow through the map, right? If you put a double inverse motion closed dishwasher to maximum speed and both pieces are going clockwise, it actually acts as a booster, right? Because it's just this, it's like a water pump essentially. It's just going to be pushing marbles out of it, and acts like a booster. Whereas if you just leave it at default, it just kind of traps marbles, right? So changing the settings can actually change the performance of the piece, and that does affect more than one area of judging in this competition. Now, the rubric we have is more for this format of restricted pieces and achieve a specific goal, but there will be other formats going forward as the weeks go by. We're going to do more artistic builds, so we might actually just have like an actual art project, like make a polar bear, right? So we might have competitions like that. And then we might have other competitions where there's no restriction on pieces, but there's mandatory objectives, like have the marbles free fall for 1 million coordinates, or have a 30-second anti-gravity section, right? And rather than shying away from that, where you just have a track and then you put in a 30-second straight line anti-grav, it's what can you do with 30 seconds of anti-grav. Those gravity rings are very interesting. The gravity rings actually work better than boosters for jumps. I don't know if you guys seen one of my later Pro Marbles League maps. Let's look at it real quick. Shall we? Right. So, using a strong gravity ring for just 1 second. I believe it's 1 second. Oh, dang. It's been randomly attached to something else. What are these called? Grav boost ring. Here we go. All right. So I have it set to 5,000. It's not even max power. 5,000 for 1 second. And what that does is it acts like a slow booster. So the booster is a one-shot increase in speed, right? It'll multiply your speed by that factor. Whereas the gravity, it's an acceleration, right, over time. So it's a 1 second acceleration in that direction. So rather than having a single boost and you like slam into a piece and then you lose all your velocity, right? What the gravity ring allows you to do is it's a smooth acceleration for a short period of time. So you can kind of get that ramping effect a lot more reliably than you can with a booster. So if the marble stumbles or if two marbles collide with each other, they'll be able to sort it out and still make the jump rather than just exploding and dying, right? So we might do something where it's just gravity rings, right? So there won't be a restriction on pieces. There'll just be a restriction on what needs to be included in the build. Yeah, that stuff. Let's go back to the action. Ladies and gentlemen, 30 minutes remain in the competition. Again, you need to be testing to upload. You need to click that test to upload button for the last time before 2 p.m. We have KiraRusalka on the top left, Luca Vallis on the top right, Sinian TV on the bottom left, and don't forget, sneaking, lurking in the shadows, we have RavenHackberry doing who knows what. I'd be very excited to see what comes out of that. All right. Kira on the top left, running a test run. Has killed all but one marble. she's gone too ruthless. Bottom left, 60% eliminated for Sinian. That's a comfortable number. That's a comfortable number. He might want to kill a couple more just to be safe, but it's looking good. Top right, Lugo Vallis. Still slamming pieces together. He can't help himself. He's gonna keep slamming pieces together. Another thing you guys might want to consider as well with a half hour left, if your functionality is good and you want to add to your track, but you don't want to mess with your functionality because you got it balanced where you want it, start doing some aesthetic stuff, you know? There's a lot of different nuances to the shapes. You know, some are more tapered on the ends, some are more broad on the ends, some are round, some are square. You can start making some aesthetic choices, right? Make some fancy looking stuff. Put a giant mustache over the wind bin. I don't know. I'm not judging. It's not gonna affect my opinion. Maybe spell Camplay's name out right around the start piece. I don't know. What do you want to do? But if you are to a point where your functionality and length are at the desired moment, but you still want to add to the track, start thinking about aesthetics. Or like I said, start throwing pieces together. See if you can generate a new concept. Man, I really like the funneled Chad. That's a good idea, Kira. That's, so many good ideas. So many good ideas. All right, bottom left. Sinian testing again. Well, we're going to be doing Ask a Builder Anything tonight. Hope too fast. So, you know, we're open. Oh, dang. Is there a skip chance? Did you see the skip chance on Sinian's map? DJ Silverwolf just flew across half the map. That was insane. That was insane. Oh, there goes Wyatt. Trying to do the same thing. Oh, there's Rolling Wonder. Rolling Wonder with the shot. Oh. Always good to have skip chances in a map. Adds to the interest of the race. Should probably check on camp plays. Not much he can do with the judging now, but probably aesthetic, right? He could start getting some aesthetic ideas, some rough numbers in, and then tweak them up as they get to closer to the competition. Oh, we have ooh, all right. So on the top right here, Lugo Valos has put a Colosseum sideways. And then not perfectly sideways, just sloped sideways, so that the marbles can only exit from one position, and only if the door is open. Bottom left, Sinian. Trying to get their pieces to lock in where they want them. Looks like they're trying to make a wedge funnel. Top left, Kira, looking at 55%. So she's gone from all but one dying to 55%. I don't even know. I don't know what she changed. Maybe her map just has that much inherent variability in it. But again, like I said, as long as more than half die and a genuine effort is made, you're likely going to pass. We're not gonna disqualify you on a technicality. It's more so just as long as you're within the spirit of the competition. Ah, so you changed one pan and that went from everyone dying to half dying. Fascinating. If I were you, not that I'm giving you any hints, but I would probably stick with the half dying and then increase death somewhere else. That's what I would do. Not that I'm helping. Just saying what I would do in that situation. Oh, hey guys, don't forget to save. Did you save yet? Have y'all saved? You got 27 minutes left. You should probably save. You need editor abilities in the spreadsheet. That would help, wouldn't it? Oh, I set it to view. That's what I did. I set it to view. Now, okay. How do we set it to? There it is. Yes. Try that one. Try that one, Cam. Oh, he's gone from anonymous Wolverine to anonymous Quagga. Grim, hi. Grim. Grim. How you doing? Welcome. You're alive. Hope all's well. It works? Did you? Yeah, there we go. Look at that. Oh God. That's terrible. Can we format these cells? There we go. Hey, look at that. All right, much better. Cool. All right. I'm just gonna go in and change all of Cam's numbers when he's not looking. Like, no, that's not right. Switch all these numbers around. Speaking of which, where's my other where's my other one? There it is. Okay, so we open this, and then what does? Ah, okay. So I set those to 20 and 30. All right, so these should be at 20 then. Okay. There we go. Okay. Sorry, I just wanted to make sure it matched my duplicate. It's gonna be week 2. Rename. Oh, and that should probably, we're gonna have to go in reverse order. Otherwise, I'm never gonna be able to find this right sheet. Cool. All right. So it looks like Cam's putting some notes down, which is good. I've got my rubric ready. Basically, I just needed to delete all this, right? Week 1, week 2. Perfect. Oh, gorgeous. All right. So, ladies and gentlemen, we now approach the last 20 minutes of competition. Kira on the top left is starting to ornament their track, getting some nice aesthetics going in there, which is very good to see. Bottom left, Indian TV playing with some materials, seeing what's going to look best. Top right, Lugoval is still smashing pieces together, going full Frankenstein. And it's good to see 3 very different builds. Something I love about the limited competitions, you know. Shout out to Yusuf, Deathluck, and Baxcast, who over the seasons have tried to create as many or as polished of a builder competition as possible. Many good lessons learned from all of that. And I believe the biggest fear from all of them was always that if they restricted the builders too much, everything would just start looking the same, like there'd only be one way to achieve the goal. But I was never afraid of that. And today, I think, is a great point in how expressive and unlimited builders really are in this community. And even with everyone trying to achieve the same goal with the same pieces in the same amount of time, are all going to create something very unique and expressive of themselves. And it's just wonderful to see. So thank you all for competing. Thank you all for watching. And we are approaching the final 20 minutes here of the competition. Should we go over the rubric a little bit more? Do we guys want to do that? Do we want to rubric this up? Do I even have rubric? I do have rubric. Hello, rubric. Hey, look at this. Oh God, my face. Okay. I'll just go over the rubric a little bit more in detail here, so you guys know kind of what's happening. And again, this will be Cam Plays judging, so it's his interpretation of the rubric. But basically, here's what we're looking at. We have 3 main brackets: the construction bracket, which is your basically the micro. That's you putting pieces into 3D space in the builder. The artistic bracket, that's the perception from the monitor to the eyeballs. And then there's the functionality bracket, which is the meta, right? So you have micro, macro, meta, right? That's basically how it's broken down. Each category is going to yield you 20 points for a total of 60. And minimum 1 point for each category. So just by default, you're already guaranteed 15 out of 60, 25%. Where you have minimal options, you have settings, visibility, and wall of death. That's basically a yes or no situation. So did you leave everything on default or did you not? That's a 1 or a 2. Can you see the marbles or can't you? That's a 1 or a 2. And does the wall of death work properly or not? It's a 1 or a 2. So things like that are just yes or no. Then more subjective criteria are 1 to 3. And basically how that works is you're most likely going to get a 2 in those categories. If you really nail it and it stands out to the judge, they're probably going to give it a 3. And if they're not impressed by what you did, they're probably going to give it a 1. So ingenuity, right, is kind of like, did you create a new function or something never before seen? Now, we're not looking for you to revolutionize the builder community in 2 hours with pieces that you didn't know you were using until 5 minutes beforehand, right? So it's judged within the context of the competition. We're not putting you up against those 5-season polished grinder tracks that have been run thousands of times. We're not putting you up against 1-hour tracks that have been spent, 40 hours, 50 hours building them. It's within a 2-hour competition. So with things like ingenuity, yes, it's like creativity. It's very subjective, but it's also a small margin. It's, did you try? Okay, we'll give you a 2. Did you not really try? Okay, you got a 1. Did you really wow us? Okay, we give you a 3, right? Expression, same thing, is kind of like your theme. So if you developed a theme for your map, either, space, plants, SpongeBob, whatever a theme might be. Again, most people, it's just, did you make an attempt? Okay, that's a 2. Did you really nail it? That's a 3. Did you not even try? That's a 1, right? And then junctions, same thing. It's a little less subjective in the construction bracket, but it's the same concept. So when you're putting pieces together, all your pieces are going to snap together. That's a 2. If you missed a snap or too many snaps, that's a 1. But at the same time, if you're just snapping pieces together, you're not really exploring the creative sphere of building, right? What's the most interesting is when things are not snapped together. So did you take a risk? Did you put things together without snapping them that works, right? That would be a 3, right? And then you get into the more technical side of things with the 1 to 5 categories. So piece use is just number of ways you used a piece, right? It doesn't matter how you use them. It doesn't matter whether it's original or not. It's just, did you use things more than one way? Did you use the front of it and the back of it? Did you use it sideways and straightways, right? Did you actually apply some uniqueness to the use of pieces? Then you have the originality, which is the unconventional nature of how you use them. So those are 2 separate things. One is, did you use the pieces in more than one way? And then originality is, how well did you use the pieces, right? And then cohesion is a bit more beyond that. That's kind of the polished, refined construction. So you may have made a funnel out of 100 pieces, but could you have done better with just 20, right? And saved a bunch of pieces, and it actually looks a little better because it's not 1,000 tiny little lines, right? Or did you put 5 squares together to make a wall when you could have just increased 1 square's scale size to achieve the same exact thing, right? So the cohesion's kind of not using pieces for the sake of pieces, but using them in a way that makes sense, right? So you could use all the pieces in a bunch of different ways and get a 5 for piece use. But if none of it makes sense and it's just you using the pieces to use the pieces, you're just throwing it all together, then you might get a lower score on cohesion, right? Let's see. Visual appeal, going more to the artistic bracket. Visual appeal is what the map looks like as a whole. So if you zoom all the way out and you look at the map, does it look like something? Can you tell where the marbles start and finish? Can you see the path of the marbles, or at least the general flow of the map? What does it look like when you look at it? Is it a tangled mess of spaghetti that makes no sense? Is it just a straight line, right? And then getting down a little closer into that is the aesthetic. So that's where we factor in things like your material choice, how the materials go together, When you're closer to the pieces, can you actually see what's happening? Or is it just a bunch of different colored glass that you can't really make any contrast out of? And then beyond that is followability. So aesthetic is kind of the static look of the map. So like if you were to fly around the map before starting the race, that would be aesthetic. Followability is when you're following marbles through it. So if you were to go around the map before you start the race, that's your aesthetic score. And then as you go through the map during the race, that's the followability score. So followability is technically a bit more functionality, but it's very much tied into the artistic construction of the map. If you have a lot of tight, narrow corridors with like track intersecting that you keep looping back and forth on yourself, it may look good from the overall perspective, and it might even look good flying around it. But then when you're trying to follow the lead marble and you have to like keep moving the camera and you can't really see what's going on in the race, right? Then your followability might drop. So you could have a really aesthetic map with really good visual appeal and get 5s in both of those. But if the moment you start the race, you can't see what's happening, you might get a 1 in followability, right? So that's how those are broken down. And then finally going into pathing, movement, and emergence. This is the more meta bracket, the functionality bracket. Pathing is pretty much the same as visual appeal, but from the technical side, right? So with visual appeal, it's zooming out and looking at how the map visually appeals. Pathing is zooming out and looking at that wireframe of the map. Like what is the actual direction of the map, and what is that flow? Is it just a straight line? Is it some nice like butterfly repeating pattern? Is it like a 3-dimensional looping pattern where you jump back and then you get forward and then you jump back? Like what is the actual wireframe zoomed out appeal of the map? Compare that to movement. Movement is, again, kind of the after you start the race. So pathing is what the flow of the map is before you start the race. Movement is the actual marbles moving through the track. So are they getting stuck? Are they missing jumps that they shouldn't be missing? Are they getting impaled? Do they get squeezed and get stuck? Right? Things like that. And then emergence, again, a bit more subjective, but I think can still be broken down more objectively. And that is when you've created something new, right? Perfect example with Kira today, the 2 intersecting pans on the Chad. That created a new functionality, a new piece. So the Chad itself does one thing, funneling marbles does another thing, but funneling marbles at a specific point of a Chad creates a new functionality, a new piece, a new idea. And that's what we mean by emergence, is it's not just 2 pieces put together. It's when the 2 pieces are put together, they do a new thing, right? So that's the rubric, broken down as best we can. Hopefully that'll shed some light onto everyone as to how these maps are viewed and considered. And if you're interested in joining the builder competition, you might have a better idea of what all goes into it. And these are things that you can put into your own. These are things you can put into your own building, right? Outside of a competition, these are all things you should be considering when you make a map. So yeah, there it is. All right, I'm tired of talking. We had 10 minutes left, ladies and gentlemen. Make sure you're saving. Make sure you're running those test loads. If you haven't already, I would save, exit out, and run local to make sure everything works. And then at this point, finishing touches only. If it doesn't work by now, delete it and just put together what you have. You got 10 minutes. One of the least used settings also is the light. So don't forget, under world settings, on the very bottom of your menu on the left, under file, you can change the world settings. You can change the skybox lighting. You can change the directional lighting, and you can change both its intensity and its direction. So, something else to be considered. Especially if you have any small, tight, or narrow areas. It's good to make sure it's not in shadow. Try to find a position of lighting where all your small little areas are illuminated properly. Usually I'll default to a top-down to start. So, if the default skybox works, I'll use it. But if it doesn't work, I'll do a top-down, and then I'll see where my issues are, and then try to adjust the light accordingly. Sometimes you have to get the light on a very severe angle, like a 330Y rotation. So it's like just skimming into the pieces. Other times you need a top down. Sometimes even it looks really good if the directional lighting comes from the bottom, because that gives like a halo effect. Because as you look down on the track, everything will be in shadow, but the edges of each piece will be illuminated. So you can really use the lighting to great effect. And just like with the pieces settings, the world settings, the same thing. You might only get a 1 or a 2 for the settings themselves, but that decision to change the world settings can increase your score in other areas. So do not underestimate the importance of certain things just based on how the rubric is broken down. How we doing over in Viewerland? We got any last minute questions before we see these submissions and start putting these maps to the test? Oh man, I'm gonna have to splice the videos together and then render it and then upload it. Oh, it's gonna take forever. It's gonna take forever. All right. Ticking down to 7 minutes. I'm gonna step away for just a little bit before we get into the action. So again, thank y'all for being here. I will be right back. Ooh, I have returned. With grapes. Should I eat them like this? Oh god, no. That's not gonna work. That's not gonna work. Alright, gentlemen. 4 minutes remain. Time ticking down for our competitors. And again, thank you to Kira, Lugo Valos, Sinian TV, and Raven for all choosing to compete. If you are interested, !weekly in the chat. That's our Discord for both our tilting and building competitions. So you want to get in for that. Oh snap. Sinian is going full flower power over here. It is what it is, look. All comes down to the judging, you know? You can choose what you want to function on, you know? Aesthetic is only 1/3 of the battle. And it's 1/3 of the remaining 75%, right? So by default, you're getting 25% of the score. And then the remaining 25 in each, or the remaining 15 in each, is you get 15 by default, and then the remaining 15s come from each of the sections. So technically, aesthetic is only 1/4 of your score. Oh, I see, Sinian. I see. I'm not judging. I'm not judging. It's Cam Plays is judging. So you gotta pick his brain, not mine. All right, we have 2 minutes remaining. So you probably should be in your last test run. Because if you need to make a change, you're not going to be able to test it. You're just going to have to change it and then hit the button. In 2 minutes time, you need to hit the test to upload button. And competitors, if you would, post the name of your map in the competitor Discord. That would be much appreciated. Kira has already done so. And we'll wait for word from Raven. And then we'll make sure Cam is good to go, and we will run these bad boys. One minute remains. And Raven, don't worry about it too much as far as time goes. As long as I see your map pop up in the next 5 minutes, we'll go on the honor system on that. But 20 seconds left to hit that button. 20 seconds left to hit that button. End time. It is now officially 2 p.m. Oh boy, Kira's got the pizza up. Kira's got the pizza up. I know the secret. I know the secret. I know the secret. It's a good map. It's a good map. I like it. Good skybox too. Get that Mediterranean villa feel. All right. Let's shift gears here, ladies and gentlemen. Time to judge these maps. Okay. think we're ready. I think we're ready. And again, thank you to all our competitors, KiraRusalka, Lugo Valos, Sinian TV, and RavenHackberry. Very much appreciated for y'all coming out this week. Let's get a leaderboard going. Boom. And let's get these maps going. All right. Raven's gonna go with the descending, not the fresh. All right. And Kira rating with the party of 6. Hello. Yes, you can cry now, Raven. That's what we all do after builder competitions. I actually had to make a follow-up video because I cried so bad the first time. I had to cry a second time to explain myself. Old Sloth, welcome and good to have you here. All right. I still can't figure out if going first or last is best. I think going first is best. So let's do it in first. So we have gotta wait for everyone else to show up actually. I see Sinian. I don't see Lugo. Waiting on Lugo. Sinian with the raid. Welcome in, everyone. Thank y'all for being here. We're just waiting on Lugo Valos. Oh, Monkey Icons is back. Nice. Choosing the name is the hardest part of the competition. It's the hardest part of the competition. Meme Lords, welcome in. Good to have you here. We're just waiting for our competitors to wrap up their submissions. Cam, do you want to get on voice here? And any competitor, if you would like to be in voice chat when we go over your map, feel free to jump in the waiting room now. Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Good. I'm excited. A lot of great competition today. I've seen really good builds so far, and I'm excited to see more of them up close.
Indeed, it's gonna be. I'm same as you. Like I want to get in there. I want to put my face right up in it. Take a look at these things. Sniff them out. All right. So let's just double check our refresh here. There we go. All right. So we're gonna do Kira first, and Raven, and Sinian, and Lug. Okay. Maps are underway. Get my Discord up. First one up, KiraRusalka. Kira, I'm gonna drop you in chat here. Hello, Kira.
Hello.
Hello.
How you doing?
Doing okay.
You seem to be. You definitely pushed yourself a little more than you did last week. Anything you want to say about?
Because I felt more calm on this one.
Well, I think that's what it was. You weren't freaking out. You were just building. So, what do you want to tell us about the map?
a lot of it is just kind of putting it together and making sure it works and kills marbles eventually.
And checking all of your pieces here, making sure everybody's represented.
Yeah, I did make sure that I had all of them. I counted.
Did you have any theme going into it or any ideas that you wanted to incorporate into this map when you first started working on it?
Nope, I had no clues. And it wasn't until putting in the final aesthetic, doing that little ring, that kind of looked like a underwater cave. I really liked that.
The reflection in the shadow really pops. When I first found the new materials, like Morbi material or whatever, I had it on a cube, I think, and I had it on a sphere, and it was only like wiggling the top of it, and it didn't look good at all. And I was kind of questioning whether or not it was a good skin or not, because you'll see the sides. It's a top-down skin, just like the water or the sand. It's only on the top that it has the wiggle, but there are ways to utilize it to a good effect, and it looks like the shadow really helps accentuate that whole concept. So well done aesthetically there, for sure.
Yeah, the background and texture of the track just mix perfectly. I never would have thought that light blue and dark blue would look all that great, but the color scheme with the water is just really well done.
Yeah, the
Oh,
blue,
my favorite color is blue, so I usually use combinations of blue all the time.
Yeah, the blue skybox, I think it just helps highlight the shadows, like the dark blues combined to make the shadows a bit more visible, which really helps highlight the water texture. So, well done, madam. Looking forward to racing it.
Thank you.
Thank you.
Hopefully not too many die.
Well, we'll see. All right. So we'll run the map, and then we'll hear from Cam Plays at the end, and then we'll get into the next man. So let's do this. Make sure I'm in. Make sure the mustache is in. All the clickety-clacky of the keyboard's in. 1 minute on the clock. Let's go. Ladies and gentlemen, KiraRusalka's Bleak Abyss Shenanigans. I did verify all pieces used. Now, what remains to be seen is the under 5 minutes and 50% death rate. Ooh, don't look at it from this side, guys. Don't. Oh, Santa's still here. Hi, Santa. Don't look at it from that side. Look at it from this side. This is the side you want to look at. Luck is on Meme Lord's side today. Fair enough. Berserk, how you doing? Welcome in. All right, 15 seconds. Here we go. Prepare yourselves for the race. It's all right, Kira. Like I said, we judge within the 2-hour constraint of the competition. We're not going to hold you to the grand scale of all map building. All right, KiraRusalka's Bleak Abyss Shenanigans coming in. Onto the pan. Already some death. Good stuff. Funnels into the center of the Coliseum, which sprays out in all directions. Looks like there's a chance to follow at the back, but no one really doing that. Through the tunnel. Dropping into the overkill pin pan. Oh my goodness. Cracking. Does not stick the landing. The rest of the marbles having to get through. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. Oh, jeez. All right. So it looks like a chance to live on the left or right, but not the middle. So a tricky little transition zone there into one of each of the Snowflake Steves. Good wobble on the pan. Sometimes with these makeshift wedges, the marbles just kind of fall in the center and roll straight through. So good to see the marbles can still wiggle and waggle from side to side. And then they do have to find their way into the glass or they will be killed. Looks like there might be a skip chance to roll over the top of the glass and then drop down into the funnel, but that's a long shot for sure. And into the funnel, Chads. It's a small funnel, medium funnel, tiny funnel. Very nice progression of difficulty here. And Yorstra has done it. I think Yorstra skipped ahead and won. Yorstra got the skip chance. We missed it. Might have been on camera, but I definitely didn't see it. I think Yorstra must have scooped up the top and plopped right into the rings there. So now, oh, the right seat's cut off. There you go. How's that? That better? So now it is a race against the wall of death. Peridot's already through. Stephen Cogswell and Memes are trying to get through the Steve with the other pans. Peridot out of the Coliseum into Molasses Ship Pan with a minute left. Should be able to finish, and that's going to be more than one marble surviving. And definitely more than 50% death rate. Yorkshire with a skip chance. Sorry, I missed that part of the action. Hopefully it was on camera. Meme Lords in third, Droska in fourth. Coming down through the pans. Stephen Cogswell coming through. Stephen Cogswell to the outside and last ship pan. Very nice. And with 40 seconds left, could be close for Meme Lords and Droska. Meme Lords gets through. Droska, better line. Molasses Ship Pan gets stuck. Meme Lords get stuck. 30 seconds. Can they make it? I think they're okay. They're wiggling through. Droska trying to drop down. Meme Lords coming around as well. And Droska's through. Into the abyss. It's a new track record. I like it. Cam, your thoughts?
Yes. I really like the piece utilization on this track. There's some really interesting things on this that we don't see a lot. A particular part that I found very interesting was when they had the speed bumps on the side, and the marbles went up over them, and they would split into two tracks by rolling on the side. And I just think that some of the piece utilization in this is just amazing. Mm-hmm. And yeah, very well done, Kira.
I agree. It's again going into that synergy aspect with the Chads and the funnelers there, and then this concept here of having a tiny little gap to get into. Not something you would normally do with just pans. Usually you would have narrower pieces, you would have a divider piece of some kind, you'd use the wide track. So being able to replicate those mechanics using just the pan pieces, really good stuff. Cool. Oh, it's more than one Chad overlapped. Very nice. I like it. All right, folks, here we go. RavenHackberry's Descending Flower Garden. RavenHackberry, would you like to come in and say a word? Hello.
Hello.
Oh.
Thank you for being part of the competition. Good to finally meet you. Anything you'd like to tell us about your track?
Oh, this is probably the worst track I've ever done.
Yeah.
It was a really tough challenge.
Mm-hmm, mm-hmm.
All the different shapes I'm not used to dealing with.
Yeah.
I really had to push. And I don't really think this is my creative work. But it's something at least. It's something within 2 hours.
Yeah, and that's the idea of the competition, you know. The last week's challenge was only using the flat conveyor track and
I would have loved last week's competition
and the custom, the simple shapes. And it's just it's that idea is like people will always go for the easiest solution for whatever they're trying to achieve. And I'm a firm believer that if you just take some time to try to play around with a different way of doing things, you can unlock a lot of different functionality and creativity. So
Absolutely.
I like pushing people. So glad you enjoyed the challenge. And I mean, from what I'm seeing here, it looks like you were able to put some stuff together thematically as well. So well done on that.
I always tend to go for the aesthetics, but I might have put a little too much time on that.
Mm-hmm.
I'm not, because I put them in that thing, then I had to scramble to get a map together.
Right.
So how long have you been track building for?
Well, I came into Marbles on season 23, and I started building it for.
Wow, you've had a lot of a lot of good work since then. I looked at a few of your maps last night, and being that you're only, what, 3 seasons into the builder now, you've done some really good jobs on this.
Thank
And
you.
yeah.
I can definitely tell the difference between maps and doing. So that's kind of why I keep doing this, because you always find new ways to put together different, unique.
Yep. I am looking for the speed bump variant
That should be at the end.
at the end. Okay, we got those two there. What about the tiny little lines? Do we have the tiny little lines there?
Oh no! Oh my lord!
Uh-oh. Uh-oh.
I just noticed.
Did we miss the tiny little lines?
Yeah.
Oh, no.
That it was supposed to be the absolute last piece.
Oh,
See
Raven.
that it's the wrong version.
I'm so sorry.
Oh,
I'm so sorry. We will still give you a score.
Yep.
So don't fret too much. You will still get your score. You'll still know how well you do. We're not going to hold that against you in the judging. But without the tiny little speed bump pan, I think we will have to disqualify you on the technicality there. I apologize. But this is a very
Well,
good-looking
I'll
map,
take it.
and I'm excited to see how it performs nonetheless. All right. Well, best of luck to you, Raven. We'll run the track now, and better luck next
Good
time.
luck.
All right, folks. So again, unfortunately, we will have to disqualify this track for missing one variant. And I know they had intended to, and they just didn't hit the right button. But that is the competition, unfortunately. But we will judge the track as if it was qualified anyway, so they know how well they did. And you'll get them next time. For sure. At least it wasn't a marble that won't finish. That's right. At least it's something you can fix. I don't know if Casey Rich could have fixed it. It was RNG. All right. 20 seconds ticking down. And again, thank y'all for being here. All right, we'll see. And like I said, even if only one marble finishes, as long as it's obvious that a genuine effort was made, we'll still count it. All right. Into the vertical pin pans and Hershey Kiss pan. Very nice use of creating a standard size width track with a upside down, right side up pan. That's very creative. Well done. Dropping down through the Chads and Steves that are vertical as they funnel in through the pans. Stephen Cogswell goes for the skip chance, but can't survive the transition. Tamri's over the top, so we do have more skip chances implemented here. The speed of this Steve allowing to flick marbles over the top, otherwise they will limp across and continue the slower route. So good use of the speed setting there to create new functionality. That's exactly what we were talking about earlier when we were going over the rubric. Cam plays over the top into the Master Drip Pan. Casey Rich, too much speed, falls through the gaps. So not a guaranteed launch here. Oh boy. Oh boy. This is turned into a challenge map, ladies and gentlemen. This is now a challenge track. Lugo scoops through. Can Taustaevo find a way? That looks good. No, it's too much. Oh no, RavenHackberry. Oh, RavenHackberry saving their own track. Good Lord. Over the top. Coming in. Can RavenHackberry actually stick the landing into the pin pad? Needs to find a way to the wind bin. It's Raven and Grenzen fighting the track. Grenzen's down. It's all on Raven. Oh no. Raven hits it. Looking to finish. Needs to watch their speed. It's good control down. Mogul Pit. I think they've got it. Raven's in. Woo! Saved. Saved by RavenHackberry. All right. I'll take it. All right, Cam, your thoughts?
This is a pretty decent map. I liked the aesthetic theme of it. When you spawn in, the first thing you think is, oh, look at the texture and it's flowers, and you really get that spring flower blooming vibe the second that you see it, and the fact that they incorporated that into the race too, with you going down the flower and then rolling along the grass at the bottom with the inverted open Steve. What are they called? Steve containers, something like that.
Steve Container is the official name.
Yeah.
Yes.
I like that they use the speed settings, and yeah, they'll definitely get some extra points on the settings for that.
Yeah.
I would have liked to have seen a little bit more involvement with some of the pieces, like the pins when you go down the start of the flower. Would have been nice to see them maybe have a triangle in the middle or something to separate them down each side.
Like a wedge. Yeah.
So that like a wedge to cause them to collide with those.
Even if, to maintain the aesthetic, they could have taken these 4 pans, copied them, and rotated them 90 degrees. And that would have it would have allowed it to still look like it does, but then the center would have been a confined square instead of a wide open rectangle. So you'd have a cutoff probably at the at the second or third row of pins, and then the likelihood of marbles hitting the pins and the bumps would probably be a lot higher. So I could definitely see that for a little bit, for sure.
But other than that, great job. I really enjoyed this one, and I would race it again after the competition and everything else.
Yeah, for a 2-hour map, it's a heck of a build. And
for sure.
The finish, it really looks like the most thrown away, least thought about part of the track, but the drama of marbles actually getting through this is amazing.
Oh yeah,
that was a nice little surprise.
Stressful to the last moment.
Yeah, cool. All right, well done, RavenHackberry. Sorry for the disqualification, but you'll get it next time. I liked what I saw. Very well done. Who do we have next? Sinian TV. Looks like they're jumping in, so we'll get them in the call. Sinian, hello.
Hello.
Good evening, or good afternoon for you guys, I think.
Yes. It's all good. Time is irrelevant. I'm overwhelmed by the flower power already. What would you like to tell us about this track?
Oh, going in, I kind of always go in blank when I start making a map. Looking at what you want it, then it kind of automatically goes to the flowers. And try to use every piece, try to change every speed and everything. So yeah, not much to tell. Had to use the see-through glass, so when you come to the funnel part or the flower part where you're almost at, that you can see that there are different pieces used in that one. That's it.
I like the prismatic effect, because you have the geometric texture on a geometric piece, and then they intersect, and it kind of gets that nice little prismatic crystal effect. So I really like that touch. Cam?
Oh yeah.
So
yeah.
So what made you choose this texture? I mean, obviously it looks really nice, but is there
where Shen is right now, you can see I used 2 different types of pens for that. And if I didn't use it, you would not see it. You would need to be on the bottom, and I would like to see that people can see it from both sides, and also for the stem going down with the 2 Steves with the circle where he's at right now, then you can also see what's happening in there, because then you can keep seeing the marbles. That's kind of the idea for choosing the glass, and going for the rainbow then is an easier choice, because then you have different colors along the track.
Yeah, that was one of the good things when Pixel finally decided to allow glass textures for the base material, because vertical tracks always suffered with that. Vertical tracks, although interesting, were always very hard to follow, because if you're following a marble, you can't look up. You can only be at 90 degrees or look down.
Yep.
And on top of that visual restraint, you also can't see from one side of the track. So good utilization of a concept that's unique, and then also choosing the right material so that we can see that utilization. That's really good decision making on your part there.
Any more questions?
No, I think we're good. Good luck.
Well, thank you again, Sinian.
Thanks.
And
You
luck.
too. Have fun.
All right, folks. Get me and the mustache in here. Sydney T's colorful, limited shenanigans. Ooh, we could actually watch the whole thing through the starting piece. Just get a nice blue tinted view of everything. And again, thank you all for being here for the races. Hope you enjoyed yourselves. If you're interested in competing, either with the builder or tilting competitions every week, Saturday and Sunday, exclamation point weekly in the chat. Join the Discord and see what all happens. "15 seconds ticking down. Here we go. All right, 18 marbles off on the starting piece, looking to work their way down into the vortex orbiter. It's going to be a start. I don't know, Casey Rich. Maybe we could have that happen sometime. Who knows? The fire art gets stuck in the mogul pans. Mustache to the right. Big push on the left-hand side as the Merkle's working it down. And now it is a pan drop into the butterfly Steve. And it's a varied butterfly Steve, so it will butterfly you at different points on its rotation. So good variance in speed there to keep it from being a symmetrical function. That's a little bit. Is my marble stuck? That's not Sinian's fault. That's my fault. That's not Sinian's fault. Technically, it's Pixel's fault, but we won't get into it. A fire into the pin pan. Kira over the top. More marbles trying to get through on the pin pan. Stephen Cogswell falls to his death. Tabriz sticks the landing. Jaruska, Diablo Bob, and the Chad. Kraken out of the Steve Flake. Coming down into the funnel. How will they fare on the funnel? Kraken coming down. RavenHackberry coming down. Swooping wide. The mustache comes in. Peridot, Jaruska, Kira, Lafaya. All trying to make it happen. Ooh. Ooh. The funnel mechanics are strong on this one. The funnel mechanics are strong. The mustache might get it. The mustache gets it. Down. Avoids the Coliseum. Into the center of the flake. Sticks the landing. Oh, it's a double pin pan mogul kiss. Oh, good lord. Whew. Mustache makes it out. Funnels it through. Into the flower finish. And the mustache is going to take the victory. The rest of the marbles having a little bit of trouble finding their way out of this funnel. Druska files the way down. Tamariz, Lafaya. Diablo Bob collision with Kira. So the marbles do come in on two different trajectories, which, as we demonstrated earlier, does help resolve the collisions. However, the very flat nature of these pans is going to cause a bit of problem for the marbles to get through. Not sure how the judge will take to that when it comes to functionality, but we will see. Kira just circling endlessly on the edge of the track right now. What is Kira doing? Kira, just fall. Good lord. And the other marbles taking their time to fall through. Kira down to the bottom, gets out of the flake. Be nice to see if someone gets stuck in the Colosseums, though. Although I think with the doors, they wouldn't be stuck too long. I'm sure with more marbles, these things would be a lot more evident. Lafaya, Kraken, Tamariz, waiting for that inevitable collision. Oh, there it is. RavenHackberry's in. Falls through on the Coliseum. Lafaya's in. In and out of the Coliseum. Kraken, into the Coliseum. Out of the Coliseum. And Tamariz. 40 seconds remain. Can they do it? Oh, they're pulling Akira. They're pulling Akira. Oh, good lord. They're pulling Akira. Come on, Tamariz. Just get down there. Just there. Oh, and killed by the wall of death. All right, Kraken, the last one alive, into the double pan, Hershey Kiss, mogul pan. Oh, that's not good. The wall of death's coming, and Kraken's eliminated. New track record 146. Well done, Sidian. Great looking track. Some very nice creative ideas there. All good stuff. I'll give it a vote, yeah, on my part. It's a no rocker. All right. I think I'll vote. Cam, what do you make of it?
It's a beautiful map. Like, just from the texture to the flowers in the ground in the background and the disco texture chads that are slowly rotating. For aesthetic, Cinegan has totally nailed it on this one, and they will definitely do very well in the aesthetic part of the judging. The only thing that I found was a little bit disappointing was I find that most of the pieces that were just used in their basic manner and only really used once. As in, when you get to the start, you split into two with an awesome split with the two Steves that push you back and forth. But after that, the next few pieces that are used are, other than the fact that they're rotated to turn you in a circle, they're mostly used in their basic format. There's nothing, I guess, original about the way that they're used. The funnel could use a little bit of tuning, but it's not the end of the world. It does lead to a pretty interesting race with them colliding and stuff.
Yeah, it does help having them.
And in the end, with some of those moguls at the end, it creates for a really dramatic race.
Oh, yeah.
And yeah, very good job on that.
Yeah, I would say the synergy was definitely concentrated in some areas, so definitely good synergy right where the final pin pan is, and good synergy up in the front. But other than that, yeah, it is a bit stretched out. And for those of you who may have been too engrossed in the building not to hear what I was going over with my builder and stuff, I did do a brief explanation of functionality of funnels and how symmetrical cones and spheres have a high rotation rate with marbles in them, and using an angled descent to increase downward velocity on the marbles at a break point does help cut down on those times. So something you might want to go back and watch just to get a little more tools in your toolbox for. But other than that, fantastic 2-hour build. It looked like being able to make anything that looks like this in 2 hours is a feat in itself. So very well done. Next competitor, Lugo Vallis. Let's get him in. Hi, Lugo.
Hello.
Oh, I gotta turn you up.
Hello.
Hold on. Oh, there we go.
Hello.
Now we can hear you. How's it going?
It's going well. Going well.
That's good.
Not easy with the piece selection, but it's going well.
Hey, I gave you 3 times as many pieces as last time, so I don't want to hear it.
And definitely more than what what Yusuf gives me.
What would you like to tell us about your track?
For me, it's just I try and figure out good ways to use things a little unconventionally. I'm not really, the best when it comes to the aesthetic aspect of it, but I do like this glass obstacle base track color selection.
It's
Because of the fact that it does add a lot of shadowing. And so I think with that, the water theme, kind of like a last little hurrah for that of summer before fall gets here, I figured why not.
So last hurrah of summer, like very, very water park themed for sure.
Yeah, it definitely gives me the underwater vibes with the bubbles and stuff. I definitely like the background combined with that.
It's a little tough for me to discern which pan is which because I have very limited information as to what they are. But I'm so far I'm seeing everything I need to.
Yeah, why the hearts? Why?
Well, the reason I actually picked hearts for the obstacle is actually more for the effect in that main funnel and then the aesthetic there at the start piece. So
Yeah,
if you look straight down at the funnel, it kind of gives that orbing effect, and I really like that.
All right, checking everything else out here. Going down. All right, you're gonna have to help me. I see. Okay, is this speed bumps?
That's the molasses strip pan.
That's molasses
The one
strip.
before
Okay,
it
so that's the
was the squares, and then the one above that, right below the funnel, is the Hershey Kiss.
Okay, where is the tiny slit one?
That's up on the 2 sides after the start. It's on the other side, I believe.
Over here.
The other lane. Yeah.
Is it where the Steve is? Yeah, where the Steve is. The speed
Yeah.
bumps.
Yeah.
The Steve
That's
is
like-
intersecting it.
Yep.
Okay, yeah, I got it. Yep. All right, so we do qualify there. Got that all straightened out. Everything else pushes down. There's the last flake right at the end. And there's a bunch of pin pans on the... Ooh, it's going to be an exciting finish. All right. Well, thank you much, Lugo. Much appreciated.
Yeah, thank you, sir.
Well, good luck to you. All right, folks, the last race. Get your marbles in. And we will see how it all transpires. We'll go over the judging results once Cam has had sufficient time to come to a comfortable conclusion. And then we will raid on the viewer's choice. So whoever wins the Grand Prix will choose the raid target. And winner of the competition has the opportunity to judge next week, should they choose. So, yeah. Let's do this. 20 seconds, let's go. Imagine the mustache wins. That would be a problem. All right, folks, here we go. Ugovaus is Something Cascading Down. Great track name. Star piece. Across into the narrowers. Collection of marbles on the center track. Into the Chad, but it looks like they're just going to die. It's just a delayed death over there. Tamry scoots out to the right-hand side with a good shot. Left-hand side, Casey Rich. Cindy and Stephen Cogswell all going through. Working their way down. Tamry's in the open pan, slow and steady. Marble's having some trouble, so there is some clipping through of the blade onto the pan. A good combination of functionalities there. Down to the bottom of the funnel, it looks like it's pretty steep. The marbles will push in, and there is that change in direction right there at the end, which is helping the marbles push through faster. Shenzivi is in the lead, trying to get through the square, narrowed positions. And it doesn't look like the marbles are getting stuck. So good combination of pieces while also ensuring the marbles don't just stop and get stuck entirely. Coming down to the bottom. Pushing across the open pan into the center. And it is a double reverse goes dishwasher Chad combo. Shen to the top of the flake. Looking to push to the left or right hand side. Grenzelos and Diablo Bob coming from behind. Grenzelos, big shot in, big shot out, overtaking. But Shed through the pins into the Whitbid. Grenzen almost able to snipe second place. But just not fast enough. Diablo Bob sitting all coming through now. Uh-oh. We're going to need a couple more deaths here. Uh-oh. Need those pins to do their job. There we go. Stephen Coxwell blasted out. Whoo! Just narrowly reaching the 50% quota there. All came down to a pin pan on the end. Droska trying very hard. Gets swatted through. The mustache, Sinian. And Droska falls as well for good measure. Really ensuring that 50%. And the mustache pops out. Into the pins. Finishing out the race in 8th place. I swear, if the mustache wins this, I swear. Cam, your thoughts?
Wow. That's about all I could say. The combination of pieces here and just the unique ways that the Lug has combined them and stuff is just amazing. From the Steve bridges that shoot you back into the pins, which can launch you ahead into the funnel, to the pin pans, not the pin pans, the speed bumps with the Snowflake Steve and the Chad in it, and the funnel made out of speed bumps, and just so many cool parts that lead to an amazing race. I really like when you go down the hill towards the finish with all the moguls and stuff and the molasses drip pans and all that.
Yes.
I like how it's so fast paced when you go through that, but it's still, you can still get caught up. So it's like, you got to get the right line through that, and it can lead to so many different interesting race outcomes to it. Yeah,
Yeah,
just really well done.
I was definitely
Other
surprised by this section. I thought it was just going to be like a quick straight through, but it actually has enough grip to slow the marbles down. So good balance there for sure. But yeah, all right. Well, you'll have as much time as you need to finalize your results in the voting, and then
All right, I think
We'll unveil the
I
winner.
only need about a minute or two to finish up, and then we'll be good.
all right. So again, thank you everyone, and thank you to our competitors. City of TV, KiraRusalka, Luca Valos, and RavenHackberry. Check out all their streams. Their links are in the Discord. Exclamation Point Weekly if you haven't already. And a special thanks to Cam Plays Games, who not only won last week, but also agreed to come back and do the judging for this week. So much appreciated for that. We will check the leaderboard in a minute.
All right, scores are good.
All right, scores are locked in. I'm going to copy them for my own verification here. Good. All right, let me get a quick screenshot. Oh, I just realized that. Weird. Who? Okay. Sorry, ladies and gentlemen, just got to make sure everything's good to go here. The suspense. Actually, that would be a better way to do it, right? Right. So that's what we're gonna do. There it is. Okay. Make sure everything's saved. And I think we're ready to go. All right, here we go, ladies and gentlemen. The results for the competition. It's Lugo Valos by 2 points coming in on the victory here.